right, guys, we are at the murder mystery dinner in Arlington Heights. Let me turn it around.
She's in the play.
Oh, Marianne is in the play. I'm just looking at everybody that's here. These are people that are at our table. Lenore filming. So what do you want to say?
We just sat down, so we're trying to get some information about our two suspects.
Right. We have two suspects.
And his is Willie.
Little
He
Willie.
said our daddy's name is Willie.
All right. Okay, y'all. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's every girl's nightmare. So, there's one thing that I wanted to do on my wedding day because I feel like I've done everything for everyone else since it's been arranged and all. So, I just want to make a toast to my recently departed father, Don Sr., who lost me to a glass. He couldn't be here today as he recently died in a badger incident. He was a man who loved cats. He saw a badger and thought it might want to be pet.
What do you think so far? She don't know what's going on. You at a wedding, the groom is killed, and you don't know what happened.
They don't know who killed him.
Right, so we trying to figure it out. Right?
They're trying to go around to different tables.
Right.
To find out what each table.
Right. Each person thing, and you question each suspect, and they give you.
Money. How they receiving money.
It's not real money that they giving to them. Yeah, they just printing it.
But I'm wondering why they're receiving it.
Because they are criminals. They take money for bribes. You can bribe them and get as much information as you can. So I just squirm around. So we're now walking around. What do you think, Lenore? I'm gonna come over to you. Well,
Sit down and talk to them.
all right. Let me cut off. I'll go back to Lenore. Okay.
We were introduced to the Willie guy, the Weasel guy, that child, which I'm wondering.
Right here. This is her.
She is
She's supposed to be an 8-year-old little girl with that little hat on right there.
Is the girl a suspect? Does she have a name?
She is a suspect.
And I asked, okay, so Weasel is here a lot, and he has never seen her before. She's not ever shown up. She showed up on this day.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Lenore?
That's just too coincidental. And they dropped her off. It's almost like,
Right.
did they drop her off to do what she needed to get done?
Oh,
and then she got it done?
That's true. Okay. All right, so we'll be back, y'all, as we gather more clues. All right, y'all, we're back. We're getting ready to give our update or our review of the murder mystery dinner that we went to. It's called the Murder Mystery Company is the people that's over it. And it was, well, let me read what it says. It says, "Greetings, Detective Woods," because we had signed up to buy tickets and everything. It says, "Are you ready for a night that you will not soon forget? Prepare to be immersed in a world where nothing is as it seems. Murder is always on the menu. The Murder Mystery Company has crafted a night of suspense, laughs, devious suspects just for you." Now, right there, I would agree. They did craft up a night of suspense because we didn't know what was going. It was some stuff we was like, okay, we didn't know. It wasn't clear on who was the person that was the criminal or whatever. And then the night of suspense, laughs. It was funny. The people that was over it, they had little funny little jokes that they were saying throughout, and devious suspects. So some of the suspects were devious.
Your host and your hostess.
Yes, it was at
Show.
Palm Restaurant.
That's in Arlington Heights.
Now they had, when you first come in, you can but they gave you the menu. You could choose 3 entrees, which one you wanted. Whether vegetarian, which was just like a vegetarian and a pasta, or the chicken. You get in the right lane.
And a pasta.
A chicken and
Like a feta cheese.
Alfredo sauce,
yeah.
or you can have steak.
Yeah.
A broiled steak with potatoes.
Then you had a salad.
And you had a salad and a dessert, which was
bread.
cheesecake. And then, of course, your bread at the table. So, right there, let's talk about the food. I ordered the steak. Lenore ordered the chicken. Mama ordered the steak. I felt like the steak, I don't like medium medium
It
done.
was medium well.
It was red in the middle. I don't like
You
that.
don't like that? So you like
Maybe
well
a
done.
tad bit
I'm
of red,
surprised they didn't even
but it was
ask.
real red.
They didn't ask anyone
No.
about how they wanted their
Yeah, and I
steak.
didn't like that. And it was also tough.
Mhm.
The steak, watch out. The steak was also tough. Ma, what did you think about your steak?
I didn't like it.
Right, so.
You could turn where people can see you.
I didn't like it.
Ma,
Oh,
go ahead.
I didn't like my steak.
Okay.
Yours was tough too,
It was tough.
because she gave me a pieces of hers and I couldn't hardly chew it. I had to keep chewing.
It was very
And I
tough.
didn't like the way they put the vegetables. They mix that in there with it, like English peas.
Because
and-
yours had
Yeah.
potatoes and
It was
stuff.
It was the peas
cut up
and
too small.
potatoes.
So
and
the
stuff.
entree, I mean, I guess it had to be that restaurant's menu.
I think probably the restaurant, the steak would have been better if you ordered it from the menu.
Yeah.
But because it was like a banquet type of setting,
Yeah, they brought
they
it
just
in
was
with the little,
50
with
steaks.
the little metal
Right. It
plates.
was like there was 100 of us with steak. So, and then what did you think about your chicken?
My chicken and pasta was good.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. The chicken was tender, and the pasta wasn't a heavy sauce.
Right.
But it was still good. It was
Yeah.
flavorful.
Right.
So I'm glad I got the chicken.
Yeah, and I tasted it and it was good. What did you think of her chicken, Mom, when you tasted it?
It was good.
Nice and tender.
And the sauce was good. It was an Alfredo sauce, I believe. Okay, so and then what did you think about the dessert?
I wasn't crazy about the dessert.
It was a plain
I didn't like
cheesecake
it.
with strawberry.
I could tell it
I
was
didn't
probably
like it.
their own crust.
Okay.
Because it was a really nice graham cracker
The crust was good.
The crust was good.
hmm
But I didn't like all of the, was it raspberries?
I think it was strawberry.
Strawberry?
hmm
And they try to do a generic dessert for everybody to enjoy.
Okay.
So it was okay.
What about you, Ba? The cheesecake.
I didn't like the cheesecake.
Okay.
I ate as much as I could because I wanted the little sweetness.
Okay.
Other than
And then
that.
we just drank water. You could order from the bar if you wanted to.
Yeah.
We didn't order from the bar. Okay, so it says so that was the food.
Mm-hmm.
And that was served just throughout the night. They would break in the story, the storyline and
Give you time to walk around, do the salad, and give
Right.
you time to walk around and kind of question each table, which had their own suspects.
So this was the death of a gangster, a 1920s mafia marriage murder mystery. It says what you might not know is the benefit of arriving early. Now, if we would have gotten there early, they would have had us be one of the suspects.
Maybe, yeah.
But we got there late.
Because they ask around to see who would want to be a part of this.
Yes.
Most mystery dinners do.
Right.
Is people in the audience that becomes that character.
Right.
And they have their little name tag on to let you know sitting at your table is one of the suspects.
Right.
So that was good.
So it says you've been invited to the Dunn Speakeasy for a wedding of the year. It was a speakeasy, so if you wanted to dress up, you could dress up in the 1920s speakeasy. Lenora, you guys saw it because you guys can see the rest of this film where I filmed us being there. Lenora bought, what did you buy those?
Those little headbands with the little feather. Wanted something real quick to just throw on. And then I wore like a little beaded little top that I put over. My mom had on her. They were impressed at our table.
Right.
Majority of the people at our table dressed up.
Everybody
like a
was,
1920s
most of the
thing.
people at the event was dressed.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Most of them was dressed.
And that was optional.
Yeah. You didn't have to dress if you didn't want
This
to.
is
You
it,
turn it up
isn't
here.
it?
Yeah. If you didn't want to dress, you didn't have to dress.
Yes. So it was optional.
So Mama had on a. What did you have on, Mom?
She
I
had on her
had a fancy hat.
I want her to tell me
top
that.
that looked alike. And it was,
little glittery.
It was glitter gold, and the guy even made a comment about Mama.
earrings.
Her hat matched.
Ma, you didn't notice he made a comment about
No, I
you?
didn't notice that.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, everybody's all dressed up. We got the hat and the jacket matching."
The majority of the people at this table.
So Mama had her little hat and hat. You guys will see in the thing. Lenora had on, what is that thing you bought that you didn't
It's
know?
like a
you
little
know?
beaded thing that you just can put over something.
Right.
Real quick, real simple.
She didn't know she gonna ever wear that anywhere ever
and
again.
I got a chance to wear it.
So it was good.
Yeah, and we came in late, so our table had already begun the intro of each suspect.
Right.
We had 2 at our table.
Yeah.
Some
We had 2
tables,
suspects.
and some tables had 1.
Yes. So it says here we was invited to a wedding, 2 families, 2 crime families merging together. Someone is about to lose power, which means someone else will lose their life. So that was it. One of the groom guy got knocked off, and we had to try to figure out who did it. So that was basically it. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, they had a book that of the suspect at our table.
Each suspect had a book about them, little notes about them.
That you have to, if you want to know, you have to go to each person's table and try to find out. Ask questions so you can find out about each person.
And some suspects may ask for money, so you had your little play money on the table, and you can use it to bribe them or to get some info out of them.
They had play money,
So-
which was smart because it had the name of the mystery company on there, and their it was like their card. It was like their business card. Had their address, and some social media and everything.
And some suggestions on what questions to ask.
Yes, like what things you should ask this suspect.
Each suspect at each table.
So I thought it was good. I thought it was overall there was certain things I would have done, like I said, better. I would have had if you want to get everybody involved at the table, I would have made each table more personable to the suspect that was at that table.
Kind of like associated with them.
Like I would have said, the person that was at our table was Getta, and the Little Willie, who was the entertainer,
son of another Big Willie.
Yeah, I would have had
but you
us
probably would
guests
have
of Getta.
But you would probably have one suspect at the table.
I would have one suspect at each table, and I would have the people sitting at the table. You're gonna make a left at the light. Okay. I would have the people sitting at the table, guests of that suspect. So it's almost like you're involved. When people start blaming them, you're like, no, that's my friend. My friend would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would try to make it like that. Other than that, the people that was the host, I thought they was funny, and I thought they did a
character. They
added
character. You can tell that that's theater is probably their background.
There was a mixture of races and ages too. One of the suspects was a young boy, like 9 years old.
He played the detective.
He played one of the.
I was very impressed.
So that was nice. Overall, on a scale from 1 to 5. One is I wouldn't recommend this show for anybody. You know where we going, right?
And this company, yes.
And number 2 is
they have 6 different stories.
They got different storylines.
Yeah.
Number 2 is it wasn't good, but we already there. We might as well stay. We paid for it. Number 3 is it was okay. It was okay. It was all right. Number 4 is it was actually good. It was actually good. And number 5 is I'll slap your mama, my mama, and everybody's mama. Y'all need to go see this show. On a scale from 1 to 5, what would you give this murder mystery company's wedding, 1920s speakeasy wedding?
For me, probably a 3.
What about you, Ma?
A 3.
I would say a 3. A high 3, though.
No, high? Not for me.
Really?
Because you helped me figure out some stuff. Yeah,
okay.
I'm going this way.
You're right. It was certain things that I felt like the host could have pushed more, and then people like you, if you wasn't really following,
connected with
you would understand.
Yeah.
Like they would go to people, the suspects, and ask them a question, and the suspects, they don't remember what they read about themselves.
Right, because you just got the information when you walked in that you are one of the suspects.
So, so I would, I would have made them pick up the book and read right away.
Yeah.
So that no one's lost on who people are or whatever. So
for me, they lost me a little bit on some of the. I wanted to be involved, but I didn't know a lot of the information for the other suspects.
Would you recommend this people go to this? Or
yeah.
No?
Well, I recommend. This is my second one I've gone to.
Okay.
So they can be. If you're not paying attention.
Yeah, murder mystery dinners aren't good.
Murder mystery is not for you because you gotta walk around and get to know.
Or if you don't like.
Or talk to the people at your table.
Or if you don't want to solve the mystery. If it's something.
Why are they going so slow?
I have no idea, but go ahead.
Okay.
Or if it's something if you don't want to solve the mystery, you just going just to be eating dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe not go to a murder mystery. Like my mom,
she just kind of sat to the side.
She just went because of us.
Yeah.
So.
And got excited when,
Now that made her laugh. Mama did laugh at some stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Comments that the host was making or the hostess.
Yeah.
In our actual mystery dinner, it was 2 murders.
And then also, too, the people at your table, some people's table was boring. Yeah. Our table, they talked and they had fun.
They got involved, and then they've been at murder mysteries before. The husband and wife that sat next to me, they've gone to one that was 3 days.
Yeah, see.
And I'm like, wow, 3-day weekend?
Yeah.
For a murder mystery kind of event.
So you really have to get involved.
You got to
if
get
don't,
involved.
Pay
it'll be
attention.
boring to some people,
Right.
If they're not involved.
And we had some fun people at our table, especially the two ladies that sat near
Yeah,
us.
that was fun.
And they were, what did you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
And Kim would make it funny because she'll say, I think it's the such and such because he probably did killed one person and killed the other one. So they
Yeah.
were laughing
Yeah.
as well as we were all having fun.
It was fun.
So it was, that kind of thing you have to be involved with. I think that one of the times we went to one, I think one of our friends who's no longer with us, unfortunately, had our sorority sisters go. And we had fun because we all sat at the same table. We kind of split up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we all wouldn't be at the one table.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yep.
We enjoyed it.
All right, y'all. Anything else you want to
Mom,
add?
Mama's numbers wouldn't matter, right?
Mom, what did you say? 3? Okay, you said
Should I
3
go
right
by
now.
him?
Yeah, I don't know what they doing. Yeah, you said 3. Is they young? What they doing in our
I
neighborhood?
don't know. Are they looking
Maybe
for
they going to
grandma's
see their
house?
grandma's house. Okay, so
What number you give it?
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3. It wasn't bad. If you want to go to it, it'll be something to go to.
Now that inspires you to write your own.
Yeah, I'm gonna write one. Keep staying tuned for that, y'all.
Stay tuned for
I've written one before,
KDW Productions.
and everybody liked it.
Yes.
So-
And I think what makes the mystery dinners is the host.
Yeah,
That helps because that gets people involved, and that gets people. That it's almost like you got a stage as a
Yeah.
comedian as well.
yeah,
You make people laugh. You get them. You connect them to the storyline.
yeah.
You make them get involved, and they don't feel bored. They
Right.
don't feel like I'm lost. What's going on? Because I'm. If I just came to eat and listen to her, I'm fine.
Right.
So okay.
All right, y'all. So, there you go. That was another Woods Report. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Always believe. And that was another Woods Report. We got so many shows. I don't know which one I'm putting this one on, but all right, y'all.
Okay.